So tonight we'll take you out to a couple of the die sites and see what it's like to live out there. Sergeant Randy Lutke has that story.
The die sites are part of the DEWLine, the distant early warning system that extends from Alaska along the Arctic Circle to Iceland. 4 of the sites are in Greenland, and we'll be stopping in to take a look at 2 of them. We'll be flying with the Ravens. For those of you who may be new here, that's a nickname for the Air National Guard unit that flies to Greenland every summer to resupply the die sites via Sandrestrom. First, we'll go southeast about 200 miles to die site number 3. Of the 4 sites on Greenland, die 3 has the worst weather on the average. And so it is when we land. Normally, the Ravens fly to each site 2 or 3 times a day for the short 2 months that they're here. But today, because of the weather, they won't be coming back to die 3, so we move on to die site number 2. The weather is usually better here, although during a storm, the winds may blow it up to 120 knots, at which point the building can actually sway like a ship out at sea. The die site, well, it's like a ship in several ways, only instead of floating on 7,000 feet of water, it sits atop 7,000 feet of ice. Although you can hear the constant humming of the generators in the background, we did speak with Acting Station Supervisor Ken McCandless, who told us a little about the history of these sites.
The first DEWLine was built in Canada and Alaska in the 50s, late 50s, and purpose was for detection of early warning aircraft, or detection of aircraft, air-breathing aircraft, such as planes, bombers, fighters, etc. But in the late 50s, they came up with a requirement for building a DEWLine here in Greenland due to the longer range of aircraft. And so the 4 die sites here were made operational in 1961.
How many people live in this building?
Normally we have a complement of 14 personnel. There's a cook, 5 additions, a station supervisor, 3 outside personnel, 3 in the powerhouse, and a lead mechanic.
And how long do they stay? Do they stay here a long time?
Anywhere from 6 months on, usually, but they usually go out for a holiday or vacation every 6 months. And some people only stay up here for a year, and then they go home. They have their financial security or whatever they're looking for, their goals taken care of at that time.
And how many years have you been here now?
10 years now.
10 years. The entire building is above ground on enormous legs or stilts.
There's 16 legs, and each pair, there's 2 pairs per each leg, so it makes 1 group. So there's a total of 8 groups of 2, and the whole weight of 3,400 tons sits on those legs. And underneath the snow, about 30 to 50 feet down, there is a bracing which the legs sit on, a wood bracing, and that holds up the whole weight, and also in conjunction with the snow itself.
The BX here is appropriately called the necessities store. It's a very small store, more like a closet really, and is only open 15 minutes each evening. There is also a small machine shop, because if anything breaks, it is up to the few men who are here to fix it. Water at the die sites is nothing more than melted snow, which is retrieved by a giant shovel and then melted and chlorinated. Perhaps the most important reason for the Ravens coming here is to bring diesel fuel. Some 3,200 gallons of the fuel can be piped from tanks inside the plane in a matter of only 9 minutes. Without that fuel to provide heat for the building, chances of survival out on the ice cap quickly dwindle to nothing. Although the men living here may get lonely sometimes, everything possible is done to try to make them feel at home. They have a recreation room with a basketball goal, a pool table, shuffleboard, and a lounge. There's an exercise room, a television room with shows from Canada and plenty of movies on videotape, and of course, a library. Well, the Ravens are back for the last time, so we have to return to what is now probably a much better appreciated Sandrestrom. For Sandy Spotlight, I'm Sergeant Randy Lutke.